I mean, is there any printer like anywhere out there that I can print it off on?
I don't think he'll mind if we just read notes off of our phone
Just
or
read from your
something.
computer, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Just
fine.
do exactly
Yeah,
what
pull
we
up your
just
group. You can pull up the group me off
Yeah.
of your phone.
Whenever you're ready.
Am I just standing
Yep.
here and doing it? Okay.
Whenever.
So I'm sure you guys have heard the African proverb saying that it takes a village to raise a child. However, there's thousands of children here in Missouri who not only grow up without a village, but go from foster home to foster home without developing relationships with people who can guide them. Think about it. Most of us have grown up with parents, family members, church members, and other community leaders that help shape us as adults. Now, imagine you could be a part of another child's village. The Central Missouri Foster Care and Adoption Agency helps facilitate programs that help children in foster care develop socially and emotionally. And with your help, you could help make a child's village a little bit bigger. It's relevant to all of us because children are the future and we should all be a part of helping build the future. We are credible about this organization because we have done extensive research and a member of our group actually volunteers with CMFAA. So today we're going to tell you how you can help foster children right here in Central Missouri. Unfortunately, there are several children in our state who are placed in foster care. For many reasons, birth parents may be unfit or unable to take care of their child, putting them in the foster care system. All of us can give a helping hand by donating time as a volunteer, money, or items such as book bags, clothes, shoes, and toiletries.
The growing problem is that many children are placed in the number of children being placed in foster care are increasing, and it's getting harder for foster homes to keep up. There are currently about 13,000 children in Missouri's foster care system, and a lot of these children have suffered different types of abuse and neglect before being put into foster care, and most of these kids need to be taught to trust more because they never really had anyone that they could trust before, so they don't really know how to develop that sense of trust. And sometimes these children just need a friend, someone else who can reach out to them. And the volunteers are needed because, you know, these kids have kind of been born into like an unforgiving place. And some of these kids don't even like get out of the foster care system. They age out of it at 18 and then they're on their own and don't have like little to no guidance at all on how to go through their own lives. And volunteers could help with that. And the reason that these kids enter foster care is mainly because they were unlucky enough to be born into an environment unfit for child growth. And unfortunately, there are numerous reasons and issues with the atmosphere that a child can find themselves involved in.
The reasons that these kids enter foster care is mainly just because they were unlucky enough to be born in an environment. Unfortunately, there are numerous reasons and issues with the atmosphere that a child can find themselves involved in. I shall discuss the top reasons why a child may be entered into foster care and how this process can affect them emotionally and aid them in their future endeavors. First, I'll give a breakdown of the main reasons of foster care supplied by adoption.about.com. There are several reasons why a child enters foster care. Sadly, many homes have more than one of the following issues, and a child enters the foster care system for numerous reasons. Firstly, and what we would automatically assume first on our minds, is physical abuse. This can go from bruising on the child to simply being locked in a closet. Then there's sexual abuse. This can be sexual abuse towards the child as in penetration or groping, or presenting pornographic material to them without them asking. There's medical neglect, not giving the child what it needs medically. This is commonly down to religious beliefs or pure thoughtlessness. Basically, the parent isn't able to keep the child healthy, so they're forced into foster care. There's incarceration. where the parent is incarcerated in jail or prison and there are no other family members that are able to look after the child. This is common because people in these situations, their family are typically in similar situations, and so therefore they're not able to care. Then there's abandonment, where typically a parent drops a child off at a sitter's and then never returns and have no form of contact. Then there could be a death in the family or the parent, and other family members are also not able to care for the child. Then there's voluntarily placed, which is actually a rare occurrence. This could be due to the child's bad behavior or the parent's health, again not being able to care for the child. Basically, the parents aren't in a situation, or they're incapable of caring for a child with perhaps a disability or something. And then there's runaways, where some children simply run away and don't want to be part of the family. Chris, and one of our members, is actually a volunteer at CMFAA with a young boy named Levi during one of the latest sessions. He was having trouble trusting older males, and we assume this is from abuse that I have just mentioned.
So going into Levi's story, during the last monthly session, the third Tuesday of every month, but on that Tuesday, we had a little boy named Levi come in. He was about 5 to 7 years old. Actually, I think he was 5, if I do remember correctly. He came in, and you could just tell that whenever he came in, he wanted to be there, as if there were problems at wherever he was coming from. But whenever he did arrive, you could tell that he was shy. He didn't make eye contact with anyone. Whenever he did come in, he was with his foster mother, and she was the only one that he would talk to. He would hide behind her if anyone else approached. Whenever we do provide food before these events and before these activities and programs for all family members. So Levi went straight for the food. Obviously, he was hungry. That's what he was excited about. But if anyone else approached him, he was really quiet and he shied away. He sat in the corner with his mother while we were eating, and this is when she informed me that he had some really bad trust issues with older males specifically. He was very shy, and again, he couldn't find it in him to trust older males because of his past, and that's all she elaborated it on. Excuse me, but that was just the extent of it, and I really didn't need to know much more than that to dive into Levi's problems and to help him. So while the volunteers, including myself, were gathering ideas and what we were going to do outside, getting the plan ready to go, Levi overheard us talking about using chalk outside, and just as something as simple as that, if you can dive back into your childhood, doing little things like that, simple things, they're a lot of fun, and it can really open up a child. So he heard us talk about chalk, and his mother, he asked his mother if he could join, but of course that was the answer, yes, he could join. So we went outside, and Levi was saying about 2 words every couple minutes to me, just, hey, come over here, I'm going over there, nothing much, nothing. He didn't get personal with me. He was still not looking me in the eye. But whenever we started drawing, he was drawing different objects, athletes, sport figures, whatever. And I just kept complimenting on him, reassuring him that everything that he was doing was okay. There was no right or wrong. He was doing the best he could, and that was great. Just giving him that encouragement and everything like that, you could really see it in his eyes. He was starting to open up. So it went from a couple words per every few minutes to he was asking me all these different questions. Then I asked him if he wanted to outline and color me in, and he got so excited. It was the first time that he looked me directly in the eye and got excited. It was such a relief to me. It was a great feeling. Those are just one of the many benefits that you can take from volunteering. But after this, whenever Levi was leaving with his mother and after doing more activities with us, he really opened up, and he was pleading his mother not to go back home. He really wanted to stay. He couldn't wait for the next monthly session. And this is just something, that's just one example, one phenomenal example. And there are hundreds of kids each week that go to these things and that need your help and that you can really, truly have an effect on their life. And again, that's just one example that I hope you guys can relate to and take something away from that.
Levi clearly had some emotional damages, some that may last with him for his entire life. And I will now talk about these emotional damages. That later. And then placing a child into foster care can be a very simple or hard decision for the birth parent. When deciding whether or not you should place your child into foster care, you need to be unselfish and really consider what would be best for the child in question. Okay.
The children who are placed in adoption and foster homes are not at fault whatsoever, and you can give a helping hand while they're making this transition into the home and or into an adoption facility and just making that next step in their life. Everyone in Missouri, including this classroom, has something that they can offer to make the lives of these children just a little bit better. And I'm going to tell you a couple different ways of how you can help. Volunteering your time is one of the big ways that you can really make an effect with this organization. At CMFAA, there are events taking place all the time to help these children, and volunteer staff are always needed and are always welcome. There are events such as Shoe In for Foster Care, where the organization will be collecting all used shoes. As long as they're just not falling apart, they will take them. It's something, again, that we keep hitting on this, that we take for granted our shoes. Everyone has one pair, probably multiple pairs of shoes, really old pairs that if you're never going to wear them again, why not help a little kid? Why not help someone who really needs something like that? Because they're going to light up. To them, it's a brand new pair of shoes, something that they didn't have before. So that's one way that you can definitely help out, is at least either donating those shoes or helping out during this event, because again, they're always going to need staff. More staff, the better. More smiling faces, the better. Then they also hold events to just have fun with these children. Again, it's simple. It's something that can gain trust with other children or other adults. An example of one of these events is the CMFAA Day at Big Surf Water Park. It's held on June 20th of this year. They're going to need staff again. They always need staff, and again, they're always welcome. You're going to be able to interact with these children, help them have fun. These families are going to receive discounts on food and such things like that. So that'd be a really big beneficial event that you could attend and be a part of. There are also other events to help promote awareness for this organization and for all these different matters. An example of this would be CMFAA's Spring Seminar. It's a 2-day event, so covering 2 days, they're definitely going to need different staff. I'm not exactly sure what you would be doing, but you would definitely be helping provide information to everyone that is attending. This event is going to basically inform all participants and guests over the trauma that these kids go through before they end up in foster care, and even sometimes that they go through while in their foster families, because not everyone's perfect, and that's a big problem. This trauma really plays from physical abuse to sexual abuse and just everything like that, covers everything. It really plays a role in the development of these children and this next generation, and someone that you can learn and spread the knowledge. It's really going to help, and it's really going to provide an impact in the future. Another way to volunteer is to give your time directly to the children. And this is probably one of the biggest things that you can do. You can become a mentor for an older youth and provide this child extra support throughout their lives for 2 years. Yeah, it's a long commitment, but at the end of those 2 years, that child is going to be so much better off with your knowledge, your help, your advice going throughout their life. You're going to help them gain critical life skills that they have been deprived of, such as getting ready for high school, college, things like that. Whenever we were making the transition to college, we always had someone there with us. We always had someone to ask a question, to give their input, to possibly steer us in a direction or offer a direction to go into. And that's going to be huge in developing them for the future. Then you can also give your time by giving monthly respite help. This is where foster parents drop off their children at a certain location, and then they go into actual foster care training that is mandatory by the state. They're going to help better the lives of the children in these foster homes. But while you're doing this, these volunteers like myself have activities and programs planned to help with personal and trust issues, as well as just provide a fun, relaxing environment. This allows parents to receive, again, while you're doing these activities, these parents go into these classes and learn even more than what they already know. And this is, again, a situation where I met Levi